Okay, so I'm 79 years old and I own a beautiful house in Charleston. Victorian architecture, wraparound porch, walking distance to downtown. I bought it in 1978 for $65,000 and now it's worth over $1 million. It's my house, my sanctuary, my home. Except last year, I spent 6 months in Arizona with my sister recovering from a hip replacement. And during those 6 months, my daughter Rachel turned my house into an Airbnb without telling me, without asking me, just decided that my empty house was a business opportunity and she was profiting off it. I found out completely by accident. I was still in Arizona scrolling through my iPad. Yes, I have an iPad. I'm 79, not fossilized. And I was looking at Charleston vacation rentals, just browsing, curious what the market looked like. And there it was, my house, listed on Airbnb with professional photos of my living room, my kitchen, my bedroom. The description read, charming Victorian home in historic Charleston. 3 bedrooms, original hardwood floors, modern amenities, perfect for families. Perfect for families? It's perfect for me because it's my house. I clicked through the photos, my hand shaking. She'd rearranged furniture, put generic art on the walls, removed all my personal photos, made my home look like a hotel. And the reviews. Oh, the reviews. Rachel was a wonderful host. Beautiful home. Highly recommend. Great location. Very clean. Rachel. Rachel was the host of my house. That I own. That's in my name, on my property deed, my tax bill. I scrolled to the pricing. $350 per night. $350 for my house. I did the math. If she'd been renting it out for 6 months at even 50% occupancy, she'd made over $30,000 off my property without telling me, without sharing a cent. I called her immediately. She answered on the 3rd ring, voice all cheerful. Hey, Mom, how's Arizona? Rachel, is there something you want to tell me? Pause too long. About what? About my house being on Airbnb. Longer pause, then nervous laugh. Oh, that. I was going to mention it. You were going to mention that you've been running an illegal hotel out of my house. It's not illegal, Mom. It's the sharing economy, and the house was just sitting empty. I thought I'd help cover some of your expenses. My expenses. Where's the money, Rachel? Well, I've been keeping it safe for you, managing it. There are costs involved, cleaning fees, maintenance, utilities. How much have you made? Silence. Rachel, how much? I don't have the exact numbers in front of me. Ballpark, she sighed. Maybe $30,000 over 6 months? $30,000 from my house. And how much of that are you planning to give me? Another pause. Mum, like I said, there are expenses. How much? Rachel, I was thinking we could split it since I did all the work. Split it? Split the profits from renting out my house? The audacity, the absolute audacity. Rachel, that's my property. You can't just... Mum, you weren't even using it. It was sitting empty. I saw an opportunity. An opportunity to steal from me. I'm not stealing. I'm managing. You're managing theft. Take the listing down now. Mum, I have bookings through next month. I can't just cancel. Yes, you can. It's my house. She got quiet. Then, very carefully. Actually, Mum, I've been thinking. Maybe it makes sense for you to sign the house over to me, for estate planning. You're getting older, and this way... Oh, she wanted the house. That's what this was really about. Not helping with expenses, not managing. She wanted to take ownership, turn my house into her income property, permanently. I'm not signing anything over to you, Rachel. Mum, be reasonable. I am being reasonable. You're the one running an illegal hotel without the owner's permission. It's not illegal. Want to bet? Pretty sure there are laws about commercial use in residential zones, permits required, taxes owed. Should I call the city and ask? She panicked. I could hear it. Don't do that. Please, just let me finish out these bookings and then I'll stop. I promise. Fine. Finish the current bookings, but I'm coming home in 3 weeks. And when I get there, that listing better be down and you better have a check for every penny you made. She agreed. Too quickly, too easily. And I knew she wasn't planning to follow through. So I made a plan, a brilliant plan, one that would teach her exactly what it feels like to have someone disrespect your property, your space, your rights. I went to Airbnb on my iPad, found my house, looked at the calendar. She had it booked solid for the next month, except for one gap, one beautiful, week-long gap, starting exactly 2 weeks from now. I created an account, fake name, fake email, Margaret Thompson from Ohio, and I booked it, 7 days, $12,050 total. I paid with a prepaid credit card I bought specifically for this. Rachel would have no idea her guest was actually her mother, coming to stay in her own house as a paying customer. This was going to be magnificent. 2 weeks later, I flew home to Charleston. My friend Dorothy picked me up from the airport. I'd sworn her to secrecy about the whole plan. She thought it was hilarious. Helen, you're diabolical. I'm strategic, Dorothy. There's a difference. I had her drop me off a block away from my house. I walked up with my suitcase looking like any other tourist, rang the doorbell of my own house, and Rachel answered. She looked startled. Mom, I thought you were coming home next week. Change of plans, I said cheerfully. Surprised? She looked panicked. You can't stay here right now. Why not? It's my house. Because I have a guest checking in today. Oh, I know. Margaret Thompson from Ohio. I smiled. That's me. Her face went through about 7 emotions in 3 seconds. Confusion, realization, horror. You booked your own house? I did, and I paid full price, so technically I'm your guest now. Aren't you going to invite me in? She stood there, frozen. Behind her, I could see my house. My furniture arranged wrong. Generic decorations. A laminated house rules sheet on the coffee table. House rules, in my house. I pushed past her, rolled my suitcase inside. So, give me the tour. I want the full Airbnb experience. Rachel looked like she might cry or scream or both. Mom, this is insane. What's insane? I'm a paying guest. You should be happy to have me. I left you a great review in advance. 5 stars. I hadn't actually left a review yet, but I was planning to. Now show me to my room. I booked the master, right? The master, my master bedroom, where I'd slept for 43 years. Rachel led me upstairs like she was walking to her execution, opened the door to my room. She'd changed everything. New bedding, different curtains. My photos were gone, replaced with generic beach prints. Interesting decorating choices, I said mildly. Very impersonal. That's the point, Mom. Guests don't want to see family photos. Right, because this is a business in my house. She flinched. Good. I started unpacking, slowly, deliberately, taking up space. Rachel hovered in the doorway. So, how long are you staying? A week. Didn't you see the booking? A week? Is that a problem? Because according to your listing, I'm allowed to stay as long as I've paid for, which I have. $2,450 plus cleaning fee, plus service fee, plus city tax that I'm sure you've been reporting to the IRS, right? Her face went white. Of course I've been lying? Yes, I can tell. I sat down on my bed in my room and looked at her. So here's how this is going to work. For the next 7 days, I'm your guest, which means you follow your rules, the ones on that cute little laminated sheet downstairs. You're available for questions. You provide fresh towels. You're responsive and accommodating, just like your 5-star reviews promise. Mom, it's Margaret Thompson from Ohio. Remember? She left. I heard her stomping down the stairs, heard her door slam. Perfect. I spent the rest of the day settling in, exploring my house like I was seeing it for the first time, taking photos, lots of photos, evidence. Then I started making notes for my review, the review that would either make Rachel cooperate or ruin her little side hustle. Day 1 was orientation. I texted her through the Airbnb app, very professional, with questions. Where's the hairdryer? How does the TV remote work? Is there a coffee maker? Each question she had to answer. Had to be polite, had to treat me like a guest. I could tell it was killing her. That night, I cooked dinner in my own kitchen, made a bit of a mess, left dishes in the sink like a guest would. She came by to check on me. Everything okay? Through gritted teeth. Oh yes, lovely home, though I noticed the bedroom door squeaks. Might want to fix that. It had squeaked for 20 years. I'd never cared. But now it was a maintenance issue. Day 2, I decided to test the house rules. One rule said, please keep noise to a minimum after 10 p.m. So at 10:15 p.m, I turned on the TV loud, watched a game show with the volume up. Rachel texted within minutes. The house rules say quiet after 10. I texted back, oh, so sorry, didn't realise. I'll keep it down. Then I turned it down for 5 minutes, then back up. Day 3, I invited Dorothy over. The rules said no additional guests without prior approval. I didn't ask for approval. We sat in the living room, drank wine, laughed loudly. Rachel came over looking stressed. Mom, Margaret, you can't have guests without telling me. Oh, is that a rule? I must have missed it. Dorothy's leaving soon anyway. Dorothy stayed for 4 hours. We had a wonderful time in my house. That Rachel was pretending to own day 4, I reported maintenance issues through the app. Very formally, the shower has low water pressure. It always had. The Wi-Fi is slow. It was fine. There's a weird smell in the hallway. There wasn't. Each complaint she had to address, had to respond to, had to pretend to fix. She showed up with a plumber, an IT guy, air fresheners, spending her money, well, my money that she'd stolen, to fix imaginary problems. I watched from the porch, sipping lemonade. Thank you so much for being so responsive. Day 5, I left the worst messes. Towels on the floor, bed unmade, coffee grounds on the counter, crumbs everywhere, like a terrible guest. She came to check in and I could see her eye twitching. Is everything okay? Perfect, this house is amazing. I'm thinking of extending my stay. Her face went pale. Extending? Maybe another week? Let me check the calendar. I pulled out my phone, started scrolling through her Airbnb calendar. She had bookings, back to back. If I extended, she'd have to cancel, paying guests, lose money, get bad reviews for cancelling. Actually, that week's not available. Oh, that's disappointing. Well, I'll make the most of my remaining time then. Day 6, I started writing my review. Not posting it, just writing it. Where she could see me writing it, typing on my iPad at the kitchen table. She walked by nervously. What you doing? Oh, just working on my Airbnb review. Want to make sure I capture everything about my experience. Her eyes went wide. It's been good though, right? The experience? Oh, it's been very educational. I've learned so much about how short-term rentals operate, the legal requirements, the tax implications, the zoning regulations. I smiled sweetly. Did you know you need a business license to run an Airbnb in Charleston, and that the city limits short-term rentals in historic districts? She looked like she might pass out. I didn't know that. Oh yes, there are fines, big ones, for operating without proper permits. I read all about it. Very interesting. That night she knocked on my door, my bedroom door. Mum, we need to talk. It's Margaret. Mom, please, can we drop the act? I let her in. She sat on the edge of my bed and she looked broken. What do you want? Is this about the money? I'll give you all of it, every penny. Just please don't report me to the city. It's not about the money, Rachel. Then what is it about? It's about respect. This is my house. You can't just take over someone's property, use it for profit without permission, without asking. I know, I'm sorry. I saw an opportunity. I've been struggling financially and I thought, you thought you'd steal from your mother. I wasn't stealing. What would you call it? She was quiet, then very softly. I'm sorry, I really am. I'll take the listing down. I'll give you the money, all of it. I'll never do it again. And the house, you wanted me to sign it over to you. She flinched. I shouldn't have asked that. It's your house. I don't have any right to it. No, you don't. I looked at her, my daughter, who I'd raised, who I'd trusted, who'd betrayed that trust for money. Here's what's going to happen. You're taking the listing down. Tonight, you're giving me a full accounting of every booking, every dollar, every expense, and you're writing me a check for the profit, not the revenue, the profit after legitimate expenses. She nodded. And one more thing, anything. You're putting my furniture back the way it was, my photos back on the walls. You're returning my house to the way I left it, every single detail. Okay. And Rachel, yeah? If you ever pull something like this again, if you ever try to take advantage of me, my property or my trust, I will cut you out of my will so fast your head will spin. The house goes to charity. The savings go to charity. You get nothing, do you understand? She nodded, tears running down her face. I understand. I checked out the next morning, left a review. 3 stars. Charming property, but host was unresponsive to maintenance issues and house rules weren't consistently enforced. Location great, overall experience just okay. 3 stars. Not enough to tank her rating, but enough to make future guests question. Rachel took the listing down that day, spent the next week putting my house back together. Every photo, every piece of furniture, everything back to how it was. She wrote me a check for $28,350, the full profit after expenses. I deposited it and donated half to a women's shelter. The other half went to home repairs, legitimate home repairs that I hired professionals to do, not my daughter. It's been 8 months. Rachel visits once a month. We have lunch, we're civil, but things are different now. There's a distance, a crack in the trust that won't fully heal. She knows I'm watching, knows I'm not the sweet, naive mother she thought she could manipulate, and I know she's capable of crossing lines I never thought she'd cross. We coexist, but we're not the same, and honestly, I'm okay with that, because I'd rather have honesty with distance than closeness built on lies. So if this story made you check your Airbnb to make sure it's not someone's house they don't know about, or made you grateful your kids asked before using your stuff, hit like and subscribe, because I've got more stories. Stories about children who thought their elderly parents were easy targets. Stories about property theft disguised as helping. Stories about 79-year-old women who booked their own houses and became the worst guests imaginable just to prove a point. Spoiler alert, we're not senile, we're not confused. We know exactly what's happening, and when we catch you, we don't just get mad. We get creative, we get strategic, we play the long game, and we win, always. Want to rent out my house without permission? Fine, I'll rent it from you. I'll follow your rules. I'll leave your reviews, and I'll make you wish you just asked for help. Like a normal person, instead of trying to steal from your mother. Rachel learned that lesson the hard way, the $2,450 way, the 7 days of hell way, the 3-star review way, and you know what? I'd do it again, every single time, because my house, my rules, my decision, not hers, not ever hers, just mine. And if you try to take what's mine, I will show up. I will pay your rate. I will be your guest, and I will make you regret every single choice that led you to that moment, with a smile and fresh towels and a laminated house rules sheet that I'll violate just enough to drive you insane.